We've lost sleep, so we're all having a hard time to just existing in these homes that we lived for years and years.
Right now at 6, frustrated neighbors and a homeowner who says he's been unfairly targeted. So what's really happening inside this house in Aloha?
A concerning message at a local school that has some members of the Jewish community feeling uneasy amid the Hamas-Israel conflict.
And a brief tornado warning in southwest Washington during an afternoon that's seen heavy rain and downpours. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko.
And I'm Laurel Porter. And we begin here at 6 o'clock with 8 people under arrest in Washington County. All of them, authorities say, connected to one home that's had dozens of complaints.
So let's get right to Thomas Schultz. Thomas, what are you hearing from neighbors?
Well, David and Laurel, they say the house has been a problem for months, and it's resulted in many feeling less comfortable in their own neighborhood.
We have been pressing so hard to get something done about this place.
For the past 6 months, Ruth Graham and her neighbors have been calling police constantly, each time about this house.
Well, it's been pretty bad.
They say people come and go at all hours of the day.
Suspicious people going in, just walking right in and walking right out.
Graham and others believe drugs are being sold here. A few times neighbors have confronted Chris Smith, who lives here. And this weekend, Washington County deputies arrested 8 people while monitoring this home for drugs.
We've already been finding needles and, other drug paraphernalia.
Smith hasn't been charged with a crime and agreed to an interview if we didn't show his face. He says he isn't dealing drugs and claims he's being harassed by neighbors and police.
Police are on the same side as the other people that live here.
He also says there was no raid at his home.
There was no drug bust here. I don't know where that's even coming from.
Although footage shows arrests made outside his front door, and law enforcement says his home is part of an ongoing investigation, leaving neighbors frustrated, unsure if their neighborhood will return to the quiet place it once was.
We've lost sleep, so we're all having a hard time to just existing in these homes that we lived for years and years.
And neighbors say they're next going to try to have the house listed as a nuisance house. In Laurel, they say one woman has tried to sell her home, but has struggled, in part because of this suspected drug house.
Thank you, Thomas. In your headlines this evening, a young mother of 3 is believed to be the victim of a deadly shooting early Sunday morning in Portland. While police haven't publicly identified the victim yet, a family member told KGW 26-year-old Callie Bolden is the person who was killed. The shooting happened by Southeast Foster and 86th. 2 other people were also hurt. Some in the area say the violence has them leaving Portland.
Just had to move out, and now it's a safer place. I have 2 kids, and every time I would wake up, they would wake up hearing cops and everything, man.
All my childhood friends left because of the shootings and all the crime that's happened here in Portland.
This marks Portland's 58th homicide of the year. Police have not said yet what led up to the shooting or if they're looking for suspects.
The driver accused of causing a crash that killed a family of 4 on Thursday is now expected to face criminal charges. This happened Thursday night on Highway 97 in Redmond. The Rutledge family from Troutdale was traveling to Central Oregon to see the eclipse. Authorities say the driver crossed the center line on Highway 97 there, sideswiped a semi-truck, and then hit the family in their SUV. The parents, Gary and Michelle, and their 2 teenagers, Kate and Ryan, were killed. The driver responsible has not been publicly identified, but was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. Oregon State Police says specific charges will be announced once its investigation wraps up.
Residents in the Southeast Portland apartment complex are more than upset after not 1 but 2 of their elevators haven't been working for a week now. A fire broke out of a Sellwood Center apartments last Monday night, and the water from the sprinkler system flooded the elevators. They haven't worked since, and many of the residents who live in the low-income apartment complex are senior citizens who have a hard time getting around. Some residents haven't been able to leave their apartments in a week.
It's extremely frustrating because people are doing things like throwing their garbage over the balconies rather than to bring it down the stairs to the outside garbage dump area.
We reached out to the manager of the company who runs the apartments, but we haven't heard back from them yet. No word yet on how much longer the elevators will be down.
Teachers in Oregon's largest school district have started voting on whether to go on strike. Now, if Portland teachers approve one, they would still have to give 10 days notice, meaning the earliest possible start date of a strike is October 30th. The teachers union has a final mediation meeting set with the district tomorrow. If they do strike, all PPS schools would be closed for as long as that strike lasts. The district says it will have some options available for people who rely on the schools for food and childcare.
And ODOT is cutting back on some services such as road maintenance and application of sand and de-icer during winter months due to budget problems. The agency says as more Oregonians switch to electric and hybrid cars, it's not getting as much revenue from the gas tax.
These reductions in services due to our unfunded transportation system are going to continue until we figure out a new structure for a budget. So things will continue to get worse, pavement will continue to decline, and we'll have less services available as our money runs out.
ODOT says it will use the resources it does have to prioritize key routes like Interstate 84 and parts of Highway 26. Matt?
Thanks, Laurel. Pretty wild afternoon in weather. We had a tornado warning up in Clark County. Right now, though, we're getting blue sky. All the wild weather has pushed on off to the east and is settling down. Still 63 degrees and really very humid out there with all the rain that we've had recently, right? So let's check out what happened today. It was pretty interesting when we had that cell move through Clark County and produce this. This is what appears to be a tornado. You can see some rotation out here, just barely. Jeremy Shepard sending in this video. And again, it's tough to see. The video's a little bit shaky, but it clearly looks like there's some rotation going on in the clouds there. So that was number one. Then there was a really strong storm that moved through downtown Portland. We got hammered with over an inch of rain. And you can see it on the time lapse here. And there's even a little bit of rainbow that arcs through here ever so briefly at the end. But you see the wave after wave of rain. That might have even been a lightning flash there too. So again, it was just a wild one. We briefly had a severe thunderstorm warning down by West Lynn, Lake Oswego for a strong cell down there. Now right now the heavy rain is arcing from, and actually this is not right now. This is when that tornado warning was issued in Clark County. This is radar loop from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock. See this little circle right here? That's likely the radar signature that spawned the warning, and rightly so. When we start seeing signatures like that on radar, it's like something's going on up there. There's some lightning as well, but that was the system that spawned that tornado warning up in Clark County. Now here's the current radar. Things really settling down quickly. There's hardly any rain upstream from us. Look at the coast, a great sunset underway at Cannon Beach. So clearing overnight tonight. Morning fog, that's going to be the legacy of all the rain we had today. Really thick fog in some places, but sunny and warmer weather for the rest of the week and maybe longer. We'll talk more about all this later, guys. Back to you.
We want to hear more. Thank you, Matt. Students at Lewis and Clark College woke up to this today. Graffiti covering the walls of several buildings on campus. About 6 buildings were tagged with messages cursing at the school or supporting Palestine. The way those messages were aggressively painted across buildings is making some Jewish students on campus feel unsafe. Blair Best joins us outside the college now. Blair, you spoke to a student about this today.
That's right. The graffiti covered the walls of several academic buildings, so students first saw this as they were walking to class this morning. Students shared video with KGW of the graffiti covering at least 4 academic buildings. And there was a wide range of messages, much of it pro-Palestinian or disparaging the college. This one in particular triggered this Jewish student who says the graffiti makes him feel unwelcome on campus, given the protests and messages on social media around the Israel-Hamas war. He didn't want to be identified for fear of retaliation.
I mean, I'm Jewish, so kind of sucks to I don't know, I've been to Israel, I have family and friends there. It's a really complicated situation, right? Not that saying free Palestine is anti-Semitic, it's not. But what goes around with it and what people have been posting and all that kind of stuff gives off that I'm not really welcome here.
In an email to students on Monday morning, the college's emergency management director said campus security found 2 people spray painting buildings just after 2 a.m., but they ran away. A bridge and a few college-owned vehicles were also tagged. Now, in that email to students, the college said that they're quickly trying to clean this up, but that since there's so much of it, it'll take some time. So until then, students will face this while on campus. Now, we also reached out to the college for comment and are still waiting to hear back. David, Laurel.
Yeah, Blair Best outside Lewis and Clark College there. Thank you, Blair. Coming up on the story, a KGW follow-up investigation into stolen Social Security and VA benefits. We found fraud claims are often denied, leaving seniors and veterans and people with disabilities empty-handed. Investigative reporter Kyle Boshi joins us now with a preview. Kyle.
David, more than 4.5 million people get their federal benefits, including Social Security and VA disability, automatically deposited into a Direct Express card account each month. The debit cards are typically issued to people who don't have a bank account. In September, 28-year-old Andrew Kahili discovered some odd charges on his Direct Express card account. Someone made 138 unauthorized purchases, all on the same day, all for the same amount, $6.57. The charges appeared to be connected to Facebook in Ireland. Andrew filed a complaint with Direct Express Fraud Services, but it was denied. With no Social Security benefits for the month, Andrew had no money.
I use it for my rent, my car insurance, I pay my dog's pet insurance bill.
Coming up in the story, you'll hear from other fraud victims, including a man who is suing Direct Express as part of a class action lawsuit. He has some suggestions for people who receive Social Security or VA benefits. Our full investigation is coming up at 6:30 on the story. Hope you'll join us.
We sure will. Thank you, Kyle. Still